He was more than a boxer. He was a revolution in human form. With lightning speed, fearless words, and unbreakable conviction, Muhammad Ali didn't just fight opponents in the ring. He fought injustice, racism, and expectations placed on black athletes. This is the story of the man who called himself the greatest and proved it to the world. Chapter 1: Early Life. From Louisville to Destiny. Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17, 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky, a deeply segregated city in the American South. His father, Cassius Clay Sr., was a sign painter, and his mother, Odessa Grady Clay, worked as a domestic helper. The Clay household was modest, but rich in discipline, pride, and resilience. Growing up black in 1940s and 1950s, America meant facing constant discrimination. Ali later recalled seeing signs that read, "Whites Only," and experiencing racial injustice firsthand. These early encounters with inequality would deeply shape his worldview and fuel his outspoken nature later in life. At the age of 12, a moment of chance changed his destiny forever. After his bicycle was stolen, a young Cassius reported the crime to a police officer named Joe Martin, who also trained boxers at a local gym. Cassius told Martin he wanted to beat up the thief. Martin famously replied, "You better learn how to fight first." That single sentence set Cassius Clay on a path that would alter sports history. Chapter 2: Discovering Boxing. The Making of a Champion. Under Joe Martin's guidance, Cassius quickly fell in love with boxing. He trained relentlessly, developing fast hands, quicker feet, and a style unlike anything the sport had seen before. While most heavyweights relied on brute strength, Cassius relied on speed, reflexes, and rhythm. By his teenage years, Clay was already dominating amateur boxing. He won 6 Kentucky Golden Gloves titles, 2 National Golden Gloves, and compiled an impressive amateur record. But what truly set him apart wasn't just his talent, it was his confidence. He talked a lot. Cassius predicted his victories, mocked opponents, and rhymed his boasts. Critics called him arrogant, fans called him entertaining. But one thing was clear: no one could ignore him. In 1960, at just 18 years old, Cassius Clay qualified for the Rome Olympics. Chapter 3: Olympic Gold and Rising Fame. At the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome, Cassius Clay represented the United States in the light heavyweight division. Despite facing international competition, he dominated the tournament and won the gold medal. The victory brought national attention, but it also exposed a painful contradiction. Clay returned home as an Olympic hero, only to still be treated as a second-class citizen because of his race. One famous story claims he threw his gold medal into the Ohio River after being denied service at a restaurant, symbolizing his frustration with American racism. Whether literal or symbolic, the message was clear. Medals didn't erase injustice. Soon after, Clay turned professional. Chapter 4: The Professional Rise. Float like a butterfly. Cassius Clay entered professional boxing with unmatched flair. He moved like a dancer, struck like lightning, and spoke like a poet. His famous line, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," perfectly described his style. Between 1960 and 1963, Clay defeated opponent after opponent, often predicting the exact round he would knock them out. Sports writers mocked his bravado, but fans packed arenas to see if he could back up his talk. By 1964, Clay earned a shot at the heavyweight champion of the world. Sonny Liston, a terrifying puncher, an overwhelming favorite. Almost no one believed Clay could win. Chapter 5: Shocking the World, Beating Sonny Liston. On February 25, 1964 in Miami Beach, Cassius Clay stepped into the ring against Sonny Liston. Clay danced, taunted, and frustrated the champion. When Liston failed to come out for the 7th round, the unthinkable happened. Cassius Clay was the new heavyweight champion of the world. Immediately after the fight, he shouted one of the most iconic phrases in sports history: "I shook up the world." And he had. Chapter 6: Becoming Muhammad Ali, Faith, Identity, and Power. Shortly after winning the title, Cassius Clay announced his conversion to Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ali. He explained that Cassius Clay was a slave name given to his ancestors, and Muhammad Ali represented freedom, faith, and self-definition. The announcement shocked America. Many fans and media outlets refused to use his new name. Ali didn't care. He stood firm, demanding respect for his identity, at a time when black athletes were expected to be silent and obedient. Ali was bold, unapologetic, and politically aware. He became closely associated with civil rights activism and spoke openly about Black pride, global injustice, and self-worth. Chapter 7. The Draft and the Ultimate Sacrifice. In 1967, during the height of his boxing career, Muhammad Ali was drafted into the U.S. military to fight in the Vietnam War. Ali refused induction, famously stating, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." His refusal was based on religious beliefs and opposition to the war. The consequences were severe. Ali was stripped of his heavyweight title. His boxing license was revoked. He faced prison time and was banned from the sport for nearly 4 years, the prime of an athlete's career. Many Americans labeled him a traitor. Others saw him as a hero of conscience. Ali chose principle over profit and paid the price. Chapter 8. The Comeback, Reclaiming Greatness. In 1971, Ali returned to boxing and faced undefeated champion Joe Frazier in the legendary Fight of the Century. Ali lost by decision, suffering his first professional defeat, but he didn't quit. Ali continued fighting elite competition, proving he was still one of the best in the world. His rivalry with Frazier became one of the greatest in sports history. In 1974, Ali earned another title shot, this time against the fearsome champion, George Foreman. The fight took place in Zaire and became known as the Rumble in the Jungle. Chapter 9. Rumble in the Jungle. Outsmarting Power. George Foreman was younger, stronger, and expected to destroy Ali. Instead of fighting head-on, Ali introduced a new strategy, the rope-a-dope. Ali leaned against the ropes, absorbed punches, and allowed Foreman to exhaust himself. In the 8th round, Ali struck, knocking Foreman out and reclaiming the heavyweight championship. Once again, Muhammad Ali shocked the world. Chapter 10. Thrilla in Manila. The Ultimate Test. In 1975, Ali faced Joe Frazier for the third and final time in the brutal Thrilla in Manila. The fight is widely considered one of the most physically punishing bouts in boxing history. Both men pushed their bodies to the absolute limit. After 14 rounds of unimaginable punishment, Frazier's trainer stopped the fight. Ali won, but later admitted it was the closest thing to death he had ever experienced. The victory cemented Ali's legacy as one of the toughest and bravest athletes ever. Chapter 11. Later Career and Retirement. Ali continued boxing into the late 1970s, winning and losing titles as age caught up with him. In 1981, after more than 60 professional fights, Ali officially retired. Though his later fights raised concerns about health, his impact on sports and culture was already unmatched. Chapter 12. Parkinson's disease and grace. In 1984, Muhammad Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, likely caused by years of boxing. His speech slowed, his movements became limited, but his spirit never faded. Ali became a global humanitarian, advocating for peace, charity, and unity. One of his most powerful moments came in 1996 when he lit the Olympic torch in Atlanta, his trembling hands symbolizing courage, resilience, and grace. The world watched in silence and respect. Chapter 13. Death and Eternal Legacy. Muhammad Ali passed away on June 3, 2016, at the age of 74. Tributes poured in from athletes, presidents, artists, and everyday people across the globe. Ali wasn't just the greatest boxer. He was the greatest voice, symbol, and example of standing for who you are, no matter the cost. Conclusion. The greatest beyond the ring. Muhammad Ali changed boxing forever. He changed how athletes use their voices. He changed how the world views courage. He proved that greatness isn't just measured in titles, but in truth, sacrifice, and impact. He said he was the greatest. History agreed.